Hey, you! Thank you so much for tuning in for the series finale of season 3 of the Monday Nyquil Podcast show. I'm your host, SlowpokeFelitos, bringing you guys episode 21, part 2, with the one, the only MADkurious. And we're going to be starting it off with these slowly but surely rapid-fire questions. But before we do that, I'd like to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for making season 3 one hell of a ride. We've touched bases on the mental health aspect, from switching to different platforms to quitting jobs, full-time jobs, mind you, and then some. And I'd like to thank each and every one of my guests for making season 3 possible. For those that were not able to make it to season 3, season 4 is just right around the corner. So guys, once again, thank you guys so much. We have MADkurious here. Please make sure to like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. It keeps the lights on here in the House of Slowpokes. Once again, I am truly honored and blessed to have all these individuals that came by through season 3, especially with MADkurious, because with her story, it has been one hell of a ride that we had to divide it into 2 parts, mind you, for the first time ever here in the House of Slowpokes here on the Monday Nyquil Podcast show. Without any further ado, MADkurious, take it away. Let's go!
Previously on the Monday Nyquil Podcast show.
And some streams will naturally lend towards longer streams, like if I'm doing kind of like collaborative community games or something. Like the other day, I actually did 14 hours.
What? 14 hours? Curious.
We were playing Fortnite and we were having too much fun.
Wait, hold on. Hell frozen over. You in Fortnite?
Huh? No, I said I would never.
You said never. Wait a minute.
I said never.
I'm gonna talk to this podcast. No. This is what? Wait a minute. Where's my invites? I'm playing Fortnite now too.
Oh, okay. Let's play.
Cool.
Play. And I prepared for it. I was like, well, why don't we play a little bit of Fortnite on stream to prep? That would be fun, right? And then I started liking it. And then
say that again one more time in case people in the back didn't hear you. What?
Started liking it, and other people started liking it, and the viewers for some reason like rage mad, or as I've been calling her, toxic mad, because when I get good, I get a little bit toxic, and for some reason that's entertaining, and so we might have played 14 hours accidentally.
Can I be honest with you? The itch of Fortnite is just something else, especially the no build. It is something where like you get all the hype, you get a community of a squad in there. It just makes it 10 times a lot better, and just like you're in the zone, dude.
Play. And I've had to start limiting it a little bit because I want it to be people in voice chat that I know and I'm comfortable with, because then I can much more be myself and everything's easy. So as much as I love having new people come into voice chat, I've had to limit it quite a bit. I can't do it as much anymore. I've had too many circumstances of people getting like really wasted, or people getting like a little bit weird, or saying something that like I definitely don't vibe with, or saying something that they might say in their own stream that is not okay in my stream. So I'm at a point where I want to get to know people, and I want to know that they're going to know how to collab as well when they come into my voice chat. So a lot of other streamers will know how to do that, but not always. A lot of other streamers with their own communities, I should say. And that's not to like I hate being like exclusivist about it, but it's truly just protection, because I've had people say like weird homophobic things before. I've had people like ask for subs in my chat. So I have to be protective. And so it's just gotten to a point where I have to limit who comes in. And so if I know them off stream, if I've gotten to know them on Twitter, or if it's like a vouch situation, so if I'm good friends with one of their good friends, then I'm probably going to trust them. You know what I mean? So stuff like it's become a little bit weird lately. But anyway, I had a lot of people in and out on Saturday coming in and wanting to play. So it was a lot of fun. It
can be fun, but I love the fact that you point this out there about the whole like almost people not necessarily on purpose doing this, but trying to sabotage like your show, because there has to be a certain etiquette of understanding your P's and Q's when it comes to people coming in, allowing you to give in your space and time of this platform that you have, where people can chime in and like talk and stuff like that. But if they over exaggerate of like, hey, I'm if they're going too crazy on like their sound effects, or if they're talking about, hey, I'm playing something else while I'm on your chat, like while you're streaming, hey, I'm playing this other game, or they're making reactions of voices of their own game, or the fact that they almost hijack between the group of like people that are in the Discord chat, and you're left to like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to control this? Has there ever been a situation where you're put in that position?
Oh, I've had that a lot. When I first started, though, so it wasn't as big of a deal, because it's just like the people that you're vibing with in voice chat are most of your chat at that point. So
or friends,
a big deal. then, right? Because it's all just friends hanging out.
Sure.
It's a bigger deal now that I have a community and an audience that aren't necessarily the people in the voice chat. So I want to be respectful of them as well, because they might not know what's going on in the voice chat. They might not know everybody. So part of that is having people on who know how to collab, how to yield to streamer. So if I'm in somebody else's stream, and it's like it's a different thing if you have like a straight up collab, right? If you're like both there's things that can be planned for that, but this is like if I'm coming into somebody else's stream, I'm going to create content for them. It's not for me, it's for them. And so everything I do is to like I'll yield to them. So if they start talking, I stop talking, and that's the way you have to be in somebody else's space. And if you haven't gotten to that point in your streaming, you might not know that. And so that I get hesitant to have people who don't have their own communities on, because they might not have those like kind of subconscious manners built yet.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to build that up. And you can build that up with other people of kind of your same size. And that's what I did, right? Was learn how to yield to streamers when we were in each other's streams hanging out, right? And it just became kind of a natural progression. And yeah, it's just tough. And so now I have people that know how to do that. And I've had circumstances where I've had to just mute Discord when people come in. And I don't want to have to do that. I want people to know, I want people to understand, to just.
I've been stuck in situations where I had to either lower the volume or kick people out, because it's just it baffles me that like you think that I giving you the time and space, or one would think that you're given the time and space to actually be a part of the show, or to be something where like, hey, you know what, you're almost like the a co-host, or like just like, or just the audience members of being able to participate, that you're willing to like go out of your way, not purposely at times, but like just like, you know what, you should read the room, in a sense of like, this is not your time. This is not your time to be making jokes or to be commenting about something else that's going on that's not even related to the stream in general. It's very it's nerve-wracking at times.
It is. It really is. And that's why I like it to be other streamers I know at this point, because then I know what they're about, and I know how to vibe with them, and I'm very comfy. If I'm in somebody else's stream, I actually have a different mentality than in my own stream. You'll actually see it come off. If you see me in somebody else's stream, I act slightly differently, because I'm bringing out a different side of myself, where I'm very focused on what they're doing and what they're trying to do, and listening to like engaging and listening to them and trying to play off of them, right? Versus in my own stream, I'm in control. So I come off differently. I've seen it when I like look at how I was on other people's streams. It's a different part of me that I'm bringing out more. But on my own stream, I'm very much and of course now with like you kind of what we were talking about with the tech stuff, like I like everything to be very subconscious for me.
Right.
That's why I like to have that control, so that I am free to create however my ADHD brain sees fit in a moment. And I can't do that if I have people that don't know how to do that in my voice chat with me. So it's gotten to that point now. I don't like banning, but we've gotten to a point where we do it much more quickly now, because
without hesitation.
We had a circumstance recently. I've had to ban a lot of people at this point this year, like a lot of regulars, and that's a weird thing to do.
Oh man,
a lot of people that I'll talk to every single day, and that the first time I did that, I cried. Like, didn't feel good. And I've had to do it over and over and over, and you almost get a little bit numb, but it never goes away. And because it's people I talk to every day, it's people that I enjoy their company, right?
Yeah.
And but if people push boundaries, or if people say even one thing that's super inappropriate, they have to go, because I know that they can push that boundary. I know that they don't have that respect that I want in my space. I had somebody in the Discord even post a sexual assault gif. They were out immediately. Immediately out. They didn't. They said they didn't mean to, but they were like, I didn't realize that was what it was about. And I was like, it doesn't matter. You should have looked before you posted. That could have really triggered someone. Yeah. So we protect the space at all costs at this point. And I ban now faster than like me and the mod team. We're very much more of like a kind of hard ban group more than other people now.
Well, at one point you did mention about like someone making homophobic comments or whatnot, and then I think at one point I did actually get a something about someone coming in to ask for subs, and that right there is a red flag altogether. Did that immediately ban them?
I didn't ban them.
Oh, you didn't ban them? They
were a good friend, and I still haven't banned them. I gave them more chances after that, because they're somebody I've known for a long time. So it's situation by situation.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's why you want to have mods that are around a lot,
Mm-hmm.
because they can judge those situations with you. They can judge them on the fly.
Yeah.
Or they can say, hey, look at mod chat real quick, and I'll take a look. And I'm like, yeah, do it. I pretty much never disagree with what the mods' first thought is.
Yeah.
They know what I'm about and what we're trying to do. And so it's protecting the space, but also like you develop real friendships with people here. You know, there's the weird, I forgot this word last time too, and I can't remember it this time either. It starts with a P, but it's like that weird mindset of, do you know someone that you watch online all the time? No, they don't necessarily know you, right? But there are friendships that I do develop on here off of stream, right? And people that I feel like we kind of know each other. We get to know each other on a more personal level. And when that happens, those are people that it's really hard to say, no, you have to leave the space, because then it means you're like leaving a friendship too. And so I give more chances to people I've developed any sort of contact with offline, you know, if that makes sense. That I take very much into account, and it's tough. But there was one recently that we had to ban for making an inappropriate comment towards a female guest on my stream. A woman I had on stream. And so I will, like I said earlier, like I will protect women's rights at all costs, like women, everything at all costs.
You did say,
So it was like very quickly, like we joke around a lot in my stream, and I think it's gotten to a point where I'm going to have to shift it backwards a little bit, because I'll joke a lot with the people that I know.
Right. Okay.
But if you don't know me like that, don't joke with me like that. We have different boundaries. And so I don't know if I need to back it up as much as like I need to make sure that that's very communicated with chat. But there's lines, and people who I have that I talk to for hours and hours offline and hang out with, those people have different lines than people that I don't necessarily talk with offline. And that's become, I think that's where this whole situation went wrong, where we had to ban someone this week. So I don't think they should have known where the boundaries were, because they didn't know the woman on my stream. They didn't know her like that. Like, it would have been one thing if it was towards me, then we could have kind of been like, chill out, like that's not it. But towards someone else, no, I'm protecting my guests. Absolutely not. If you're a guest on my stream, you were 100% protected. I will ban someone in a second.
Right, and that is the business aspect of your mentality.
Women, but everybody are
right. No. And I completely understand, and that's the business aspect, because you're looking forward to, hey, you know, I'm collabing with this guest. You're gonna affect somewhat of like the revenue, the notoriety, and like the word of mouth of like, you know what, this person is allowing these sort of comments being, you know, being presented into the stream. It's just like how to make someone uncomfortable this way. This is uncalled for and stuff like that. So the business point of it is has to come forth, especially with the friend boundaries, because sometimes with the friends part and the business can clash, and you're just like, what do I sacrifice more? Is it I'm getting the traction, the notoriety of like the revenue and all that kind of stuff here, but I'm going to be losing a friend or vice versa. So that's really
all of my friends are my coworkers. You know what I mean? Like, we're all peers. You know? Like, we're all kind of working towards the same goal, doing the same thing, trying to create entertainment. And sometimes things clash, and that your personal and your business are now at the same risk, you know, and that's tough, and you have to be able to navigate those things. And that's why, honestly, I'm glad for the messed up stuff I had to go through like 6-8 months ago, because now I'm in such a healthier mental place to be able to handle all interpersonal relationships, which is what I needed. It was the kind of kick in the butt I needed to be able to figure out myself and what I stand for and my values and my boundaries. So I'm very comfortable with that. I know where they are, and I can nix people who get too far past that, you know. And it's unfortunately been happening more and more. But the more that we show, hey, this is not allowed in this space, the less people will come in and try to do it, unless they're trolls. Obviously, those are always going to be there. But like, people see the space and they see what other people are doing, and they vibe off of that very quickly. And that's why I think this person did it. They might not have in other situations, but we'd all been joking around and doing like joke flirting type of stuff in the VC, and they took it too far in the chat, and it was just completely inappropriate, and it was unfortunate.
Yeah, and I think the situation that was brought to you was handled very well, and that's the whole business side of being a host. This is your show. You're the sound editor. You're the producer, the director, and stuff like that. You dictate where you want this traction to go to, whether it's one way or the other. And of course, when you have a special guest or two or a collab, that's very important to keep almost a straight mindset, because you're going to want to do this eventually in the future, and people are going to want to gravitate more to this and stuff. So they're very well handled and very almost put it in a great example of actually putting this out there, because a lot of people do tend to times take advantage of the situation of, you know what, I'm going to be here collabing with this person, but like, I'm going to try to hijack the show. I'm going to try to promote myself. I'm going to try to do this and that. And it's just like, it's not all about that. It literally is just about, you know what, vibing and literally enjoying what you have right now and being almost like blessed that, you know what, you had the opportunity that this person, this significant person is just like, you know what, I believe in this person to be able to come over here, act, you know, his P's and Q's, and to know that there's a time and place to joke around.
It's an honor to be on anyone's stream, their content, their space. It's an honor, and you need to respect that honor, even if it's like very casual. You're getting in, like, you know, you just stop by their stream, they're like, hey, get in here. Like, even if it's casual, you have to respect the streamer's space. And that's why I do it with now more trusted people that I know better, and it's had to become that, unfortunately, as much as. So I think I'd love to do more like off stream community days eventually, where I can get to know chat better off stream if they want to play games with me, and in VC we could have video on all of that, and of course mods will be ready to do anything. You know what I mean? But like, just because it's not to be exclusionary, that's not what I want at all, but it's had to come to that because I've had so many bad circumstances now, and that weighs on it. It started to really weigh on me lately. Like 10% of my stream content creation time, right, like 10% of it in general has become moderation type work. I am constantly talking to mods about like, what do we do about this situation or this person or this many trolls or the type of stuff we've been having incoming. I added 2 people to the mod team the other week, like last week as well. And I'm about to probably ask at least a handful, maybe a dozen people if they can be backup mods for events and just like temporary mods to bring in for certain things, and have like a little temp mod group of sorts that we can come in and choose from at any time if they want to help. Just because, and I'm about to go into my first Pride Month, so just you get haters, you get trolls, and I'm ready for them, but we want to keep it very safe in general for people to not like, and that's something that I think people know about my space is they're very safe in my space. So if somebody comes at anyone, gone. We joke around, we do a lot of joking, but if you take it too far, you're out of here. And people have to know those boundaries, and it's really important. That's like in real life too. If you don't know those boundaries, this isn't your space. Right. And speaking of moderators, they're in and out sometimes, or some people do actually stay for the long run. Some people, they opt out, or you like ask them to leave, or you just kick them out in general because they're not being there to begin with. Where is your stance when it comes to having moderators be obligated to be in your stream? Because there is something where people can almost be have the criticism of like, you know what, are you even paying me? Why am I even being here? Or like the genuine fact of like being a friend. Like, I can't be there all the time. Where's your stance on that? Modding is tough, and I could never be a good mod. I don't know how they do it. It's a whole art form in itself. Right. But I have a lot of really amazing people who have decided that it is worth their time to help me moderate my stream in this community and help the community and keep everyone safe. So I don't know. It's such a giving mindset that people have to do modding. So it's weird because it's not an obligation for people to be there to be on the mod team, but eventually if they're not there enough, they can't mod because they're not there. So there's like a little balance to it. And so, I've had people who just don't have a whole lot of time right now. Maybe they will in the future, but as of right now, maybe they don't. Or it's mostly people that I really trust that I started bringing in from the beginning. And now it's people that I trust and are there and are active in the chat and know the people in the chat so that they know, oh, this is joking. This is not, I haven't seen this person before. What are they doing here? Like, why are they saying this? This isn't okay. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely. So it's good for them to know the community too. And so the people who want to do that, who like being in the community and who show that they're like respectful and I can trust them, those are people that I now mod, and I take it very seriously now. I'm like, oh, these are people I've seen in other communities modding too, or these are people that I just know because we have a lot of mutual streamer friends that I know that they have been respectful for a long time in a lot of communities. That matters in the growing space. Like, I'm now acting like somebody with much more viewers than I have, because you have to dress the part, right? Dress for the job you want, not the job you have. So protecting the space. If a big streamer, if a huge streamer came into my voice chat tomorrow, I want them to know that they're safe and they're not going to be bombarded by a bunch of like absolute disrespectful, stuff. They would be safe in my space. That's it. So it would be a professional space for them. And that's how I want to treat every single one of my guests, like some big superstar. That's it. So that's how I operate now. And it's become more professional in that sense. So now the mods that I have, yes, they have to be in the streams to mod, and if they're not a big deal. That's why I want to have the temp mod group, because it could be people who maybe don't have a whole lot of time to offer, but there's somebody I trust and I know is super respectful, and if they have time, cool, like I could be like, hey, are you free this one Saturday that I'm having this event, or hey, I'm going to do a subathon, would you be able to step in? So it's not something that I ever want people to take personally, and I've had to remove a few people that just like weren't there, but it's not a big deal because they're not there, and just have a little conversation like, hey, it's no big deal, but if you ever want to come back, just hit us up. So that kind of thing, and it's the same with viewers too. You can't have these expectations, because it's like people who are watching their favorite TV show and then they're like, okay, I'm going to go watch another TV show. Like, that's okay. Yeah. And it might hurt a little, it might sting a little bit, but like it's part of the journey. It's part of the business. So
absolutely. Absolutely. And now some slowly but surely rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. What is your stance on eating on stream?
Oh, if you don't like eating on stream, don't join my stream. don't come to my stream.
Pounding down a burrito and some Korean wings.
I will literally be like hardcore gaming and chatting and like eating at the same time. If you don't like that, then look. You can't accidentally do a 14-hour stream and not eat, okay? Look.
You gotta be realistic, but come on, guys. Come on.
Because I do long streams. It's one thing if you're doing like a 2 or 3 hour stream and you didn't plan to eat and people are like, why are you eating on stream? You're literally here for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? But like, I do really long streams. So,
I can only imagine the keyboard and the controller, just the grease, and like maybe you're like, I don't have time to wipe my base.
Yeah. Where did my controller go? So the white PS5 controllers are a whole problem and a half. I have a red PS5 controller that I got, and it doesn't get as stained, which is good.
You have to switch it up.
The white one, definitely a little bit makeup-y, if you will. I only wear makeup on like 10 or 20% of my streams. Like, it's not even that often. It still has makeup all over it.
What is to you a big no-no when commenting on someone's chat?
Self-promo. Self-promo. And in Discord too. I've had to tell some people 3 or 4 times, please stop promoting in my Discord. I'm like, it's my Discord. Yes, it's for the community to get to know each other, but it's for the community that is surrounding my content to get to know each other, not anybody else's. Not how it works. If I really like someone's content, I'm going to be giving them tons of shout outs and supporting them anyway. That's how it works for me. Murph, you're not joining us. No.
No, Murph, bring Murph over here. Bring Murph. We have a special cameo.
On the desk. There's not enough room for him. He's a big boy.
Big chunkers. Look at Murph. It's Murph.
I can like pull him closer on his perch, but he cannot be up on the desk. What were we talking about? Oh yeah. Self-promo.
Self-promo right there for Murph.
I had a circumstance the other day where I gave someone like a 3rd or 4th warning, because again, I don't like banning people unless it's something that just like feels like they're not going to stop pushing boundaries.
Sure.
And so I told, please stop doing it. Please stop. Like, they literally asked I made a merch channel in case anybody wanted to post pictures of the merch that they're getting, since we're starting merch finally. And someone posted, can I post my merch link? And I was like, no, you can't post your merch link in my merch channel. It's for pictures of my merch. This is my support. Like, know that's very like, no, it's mine, but it is.
It is yours. What the heck?
It's not for somebody else to promo in. And yes, like I have a sub promo for people who are subs to. Part of that is because people who are subbed are probably integrated into the community more, so they know each other. When they post in the sub promo, they probably interact with other people who might want to come to their stream. So there's no point in having like a big promo section for everyone, because most likely if you're not, hanging out in the stream all the time, like if you are hanging out in the stream, you'll probably get gifted a sub at some point, and then
right.
you know what I mean? So it's like the really active people are the only ones who are probably going to benefit from that at all, because they know each other and they might want to hang out with each other in each other's streams. That's it. There's no point in going into someone's Discord and saying, look at me. Nobody cares. Literally nobody cares. I don't know you. That's not how it works.
What is to you your biggest pet peeve?
If people lie to me, it's
a deal breaker.
That's a pretty deal breaker to me. It's not, nobody's going to get banned for lying, but we're probably not going to be friends if you lie to me. That's probably going to be the end of our friendship and probably our working friendship. So, Hi.
Hey, Murph. Murph. Special cameo.
She's staring at me too. What's going on?
Yo,
you guys okay?
Eat your heart out, Dr. Doolittle. Okay. Ace Ventura, get out of here. MADkurious in the house. What is to you your favorite quote?
Don't get stuck in a life that isn't yours.
What does that mean to you?
So that means live your most authentic life. Be your most authentic self. Do what's right for you in your life. So like my mantra this year in our stream is get fit and quit. Mentally fit, quit anything that doesn't bring you peace. So it means to me truly living the life that I'm my best life for me. And I want that for everyone in the chat. And people are like, oh, well, I can't quit my job. And I'm like, it's not that. It's not that. Like, do what is right for you. Like, you might love your job or you might hate your job, but it's right for the responsibilities and the things that you have in place in your life, right? So have your priorities. If that's your family, if that's creating things, if that's traveling, if that's like for some reason chasing money, please don't do that. That's going to be a bad time. Trust me, I did that for a while. But people, whatever feels right for them. And what's right for me right now is my most authentic self is being weird on the internet. So doing it.
You're doing a fantastic job. Weirdo. What is to you a regrettable moment on stream?
I feel like there were a couple streams when I was having my little growth spurt where I was talking about other people's content a little bit, and I wish I never had. And I wouldn't anymore, ever. It's about me, not about them.
Oh, like sharing like criticism or something like that? Or
it was criticism. It wasn't normally towards anyone. I didn't like mention names or anything, but I had some criticisms of things that were going on in the streaming space.
Okay.
And if people knew what was going on in the streaming space, they might have known who I was talking about. Not that I was like calling anyone out, but like, and so it got to a point where I was like, this isn't the kind of content I want. I don't want anyone to feel like I'm shitting on them, because everybody should just do what they want to do. So I stay very away from that now. And if people ask me stream advice, I make it very clear. This is my opinion. I don't necessarily know what I'm talking about, and it might not work for you. This is what worked for me, and that's all I can give, and that's what all any of us can give, because it's a weird space, and it's a creative endeavor or an entertainment endeavor is not going to have really solid rules ever. There's always going to be an exception. So,
right.
And having like, I don't say anything as intensely as I used to. And I think, again, that comes with when you're really growing and you're trying to figure yourself out. You have these like, it's kind of like the teenager phase of content creation. I was going through the teenager phase where you're like, I know everything. And once you get past that, you're like, no, I knew nothing. Sorry. I knew nothing, right? So that's it. And I've gone through the adolescent rebellious, I'm a know-it-all phase for like 2 seconds, and got right out of that, and the people kind of did the smack upside the head stop, and I did very quickly. And so that would be my most regrettable content, was just like, I shouldn't have ever spoken about anything that could kind of like, it wasn't about me or what I enjoying what I'm doing. Like, I just need to let people live. Like, I don't need to be judging anybody else's stuff. I don't want to be in anybody else's boat. I'm going to let them drive their own boat. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely. Really, really powerful and really well said about that acknowledgement, because it's really, it takes a strong person to admit that, you know?
And it happens to a lot of us where we'll kind of get like, it's easy to get judgmental and to get like and to get to be comparing yourself to others. That's an easy thing to fall into if you're in a bad mentality already. And
would you say envious or jealousy in that?
Yeah. I mean, that's really easy to get into when you're not in a good mental place yourself. And again, that's why I'm so glad. Like, I'm actually thankful for what I've gone through at this point, which I couldn't have said even a month ago when we did this the first time.
Right.
Because I'm now at a place where I am much more able to mentally and emotionally process things that before might have given me a more negative mentality. And now I can process it with healthier feelings, not logic, because you have to process some things through feelings, but with like healthier feelings towards them. And so I'm not comparing myself to others and getting jealous. And so if somebody is jealous of me and that comes out, there's no reason for that. That's you personally. I didn't do anything to create that. And that's what you have to realize as a creator too, is the way people are interacting with you says a lot more about them than about you. So keep doing you. Don't let that roll off. If somebody's acting jealous, that's not your problem. They need to work out their own stuff. So it's tough though. It's tough. And you can fall into that. And so you have to be very, very self-aware at all times as somebody who has a public persona and somebody who's especially doing live content, because that you can get thrown off really quickly live, you know? Edit it. It's there. So you want to be in a healthy enough mindset to handle whatever's thrown at you.
What are to you some shady networking tactics that people have tried towards you?
Well, actually, when I first started streaming, I believe I ended up in a couple Discords where it was like the raid trains and the support for support. I never joined any of it, but I like joined up on the Discord thinking it'd be a cool place to meet people. I was like, this feels weird. This doesn't feel right. And so I got out really quickly. I don't think I ever like really associated with anyone in those. I don't think I've participated in anything sketchy since I started streaming. Somehow I avoided it, even though I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't even watch Twitch when I first started streaming, which is I don't know anyone else who started streaming on Twitch without ever having watched a Twitch stream before, but here we are. So I didn't know what I was getting into with the culture and all of the different intricacies and all the complexities. It's a very complex ecosystem on Twitch, and so I'm glad I didn't really stumble into too much of that, but I saw it, and I still see a lot of it. There's a lot of messed up stuff happening in the support for support space. It's be careful out there, guys. People will try to use you, for their own benefit, and I stomp that very quickly if it gets anywhere near my space. I don't want it anywhere near me. I don't want to associate with it. I don't want to be adjacent to it. I don't want it even like just trying to crawl into my street. No, get away. Absolutely not. Because I actually really like anti-MLM content. I absorb it a lot. I consume it a lot. Do you know MLM?
No, please educate me on that, please.
Pyramid schemes. What's a really well-known one? Like Arbonne or something, or actually some that you might know about because a lot of moms of like our generation were in them, like Mary Kay, okay, Chef. Those were ones that moms would be in, but they wouldn't necessarily do all the pyramid scheme stuff where they were recruiting people underneath them. They just wanted the stuff. But those are pyramid schemes when it's more about recruiting people underneath you and having them purchase like packs of stuff, and then you're getting money from them, and they get more people to purchase from them, so that you're getting more and more and more money from the people underneath you. Right. And that's how it works, is you're recruiting more than selling a product. And so that's what happens with these, is people will get more and more people underneath them to watch them and be like, hey, get people to watch you and watch me. And then it's like this weird pyramid, literally pyramid structure, where you're on the top and you're getting views from all of these people. The people on the bottom, when it all falls to shit, because it will, they lose, right? And so I don't want that anywhere near me. I love consuming the dramatic content about it. Like there's lots of YouTube videos about the anti-MLM sector, and I like absorbing stuff talking about scams.
Yeah.
Be very aware when I see it too, and I'm like, get it away. Absolutely not.
Thank you for educating me on that. That's fucking. I never like. It's always like a fine line, because some people be like, "Well, that's not what I do." It's like, if you take your step back, you kind of are.
And that's what it is for support. When you said that earlier about if somebody like thinks they're like, oh well, you don't stop by my stream, why should I stop by yours? You have that mentality, we're not going to be friends. That's just it. We're not going to have we're not going to have any kind of working relationship, because that's just a really unhealthy mentality. The closest friends that I have, I am 100% confident that the closest friends I have on this platform, if I never showed up to their stream again, we would still be friends.
I got to ask a few things when it comes to the whole revenue part, because now that you're going to be quitting your job pretty soon, at the time of this recording, you're already putting 2 weeks. Where does the revenue going to be looking into, not only from the subscriptions? Are you putting out merchandise now, and is that going to be more implemented into the streams, where like a segment's going to be dedicated to, hey, this is where you can support me, and in more ways you can Venmo me, you can do like this, buying merch on this website or whatnot. Where is that going to be integrated into this?
I'm not going to be putting like huge pressure for people to give me money ever. That's not the plan.
Okay.
So with merch, I've made $0 off of merch so far. I just sold the amount of merch that I sold was just to cover the merch that I can give away at this point, and I don't even think it quite covered it. That's the goal right now, is just for people to be able to get merch if they want merch. Eventually, yes, I'd love to be able to make money off of it, but that's a very scalable revenue source. It's not something you're going to make money on a low scale. You have to have the volume, the numbers. So once I have like a bigger YouTube presence, hopefully continue to grow on Twitch as well. Yeah, hopefully I'll sell some and make some money. But right now, it's really not going to be a huge income source. It might even be a slight income thing, because it's a marketing thing just for people to have if they want it and enjoy it, you know.
That's very intriguing. Like, even with almost 3,000 followers, stuff like that, you're not pulling the trigger with the whole merchandise thing. That's interesting.
I mean, look, some people do it to make money. Some people do it, they price it up a bit and they promote it all the time, and they'll get like 5, 10, 15, 20 people to buy it over time, and they make some money off of that. That's not what I'm trying to do with it. I look at everything as a business, right? Like, I'm not here to make a quick couple $100. That's not going to benefit me in the long run. What's going to benefit me in the long run is engaging the community, giving back to the community, doing things that like make them happy, because that's what I'm here for, is like to entertain, not to like try to like siphon money from people. Like that's not gonna in the long term help me have a career. That's not it. So I'm not trying to like siphon money from merch. If I eventually make money from merch because I'm selling enough of it, cool. But it's truly like something that we're creating for fun. And I say we're because I have like my BFF and designer Rainbow making all kinds of stuff. She put this in the design for this. So yeah.
What is that you have there?
Okay, so this is the only merch we'll ever have, Series 0 merch, that has both of my names on it. My original streaming name, the Mad Kai, and my new name, MADkurious.
Okay.
Has both of those on my new name stream where I launched my new name. I had any streamer or any viewer, anyone who was in stream who wanted to come into a Google Doc and put their name, their logo, whatever they wanted to put that represented them, and Rainbow put this in a design to put on a shirt.
That's pretty rad. Oh my gosh. And you putting that all together, did you almost like you kind of knew some people were going to be coming by to actually, you fill out that Google Doc, but like there's a lot of names in there. There's a lot of them in there.
A lot of things that haven't worked out. So you see the things that do, and this is with anything in streaming, you see like the people who make it and the people who it works out for them, and you see all their success and you're like, oh wow, look, you had expectation. No. You know the things I have that have failed and fallen, but I planned them and tried them anyway. So yeah, this one worked out, but they don't always. You never know. You just never know what's gonna. You try and see what happens. And
especially the key word is try. And I know I love how you almost acknowledge that as a highlight, where you went from a name change to where you're now MADkurious. Take us back where this whole thing ended up like almost coming into fruition. You know, it needs to change because again, it's like the whole business aspect, and now like you want to have like a different demographic of how people are getting to know you, especially with all social media platforms just to find you with one quick name search and stuff. So how did that go about?
So yeah, with this original name, having the in front of it, and I would give other people advice when they were asking about their names and stuff, and I would say, hey, get rid of underscores. That makes it harder for people to remember and type in your name. Get rid of numbers, because that's going to be harder for people to remember unless it's something that's fully integrated into your brand. Make it very brand friendly in general. And make it really simple. Mine still doesn't follow all of those rules completely. I would say the best possible name would be something shorter than MADkurious, but that it's what worked for me. And you do need to apply those rules to yourself. That's it, or those tips to yourself. That's with any streaming, anything, any creation advice at all.
Sure.
Apply it to yourself. Take what works for you. So for me, MADkurious works. I obviously can't shorten it to mad because that's a word. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but mad is what people call me. Curious, I spelled with a K so that it's not just two words smushed together. It's a name, right? It has curious with a K, so it's a little bit spelled weird. Normally, again, wouldn't recommend having a misspelled word as your name either. But again, it's something that worked for what I'm trying to do. It's two words that very much fit my brand, and so it's something that's going to be I'm going to be able to drive mad and curious for a lot of different ways in a lot of different content. And it doesn't limit me to gaming. So I didn't say mad gaming because now I'm not limited to that. If I want to expand this forever and ever, which I want to do, I want to have my end goal is actually to be a novelist, and to have all of this as like be a novelist, create videos on YouTube, have a bunch of other endeavors going on, and bringing anyone who enjoys my content in to interact with on Twitch and so in live time. So that's like the major goal there. So I wanted to have something that's all encompassing. Now, when I do become an author, my plan is to use my real name. But and I have a potential slight variation on my name for if I get into like data management content, like I'm kind of thinking about as well.
Sure.
Using my graduate degree and my career on the side to make a little money as well, I might use like a slight shift in the name so that it's like, we'll see. And so,
yeah.
But it's important for all the rest of it, like YouTube, social media, Twitch, all of that. Anything that's like video entertainment content, I want to be under the MADkurious name. So.
Yeah, and there's no, I guess, like second thoughts of like having this name change. For now, this is something where you're taking the ball and rolling with it, because there was one point where I was just known as John Mendez, and I was known as SlowpokeFelitos, and I got to tell you, to share this with you, because I forgot to do so in the previous conversation we had, because you played a big role on the name change to stick with SlowpokeFelitos, where it was a criticism, not just because you were being mean or anything like that. It's just like, it was more of a suggestion that, you know what, you want people to find you, you should probably switch it up, because it's like, well, who the heck's John Mendez? Who the heck's Slowpoke? And this and that. So I
remember telling you that. I think I DM'd you and I was like, hey, why are your names different on different platforms? Because for me, if I find that it's hard to find someone, I usually, if I know them at all, I'll DM them and let them know that, because it really is something that makes it so much more brand friendly to have something all across your platforms. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
No matter what your name is, have it on every platform. And if you can't get it, see if you can potentially change your name. I have this on every platform. So before I changed my name, and it was a big project. I sat there that night, late at night, so hopefully not that many people would see it early. And I went and changed on everything. I had all of the tabs pulled up. I started typing it out on every single one, and then I went boom, 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 boom. And I'd already checked to make sure that it was on all of those platforms, and got it all. So you've got to, if you want it, that's the best naming advice I can give you, that uniformity, because the fewer barriers you can put in front of people trying to interact with you and find you, the better. That's it. And so again, that's why like misspelling's fine, but like it's going to make it a little bit harder, right? Somebody might type in MADkurious with the C and they're not going to find me. You know what I mean? So you make it as easy as possible.
No, and that's why, hence, I this journey that I'm here on Twitch, to be able to continue on and have some sort of success, I owe some of that to you for the name change, honestly. And that's to me, I guess maybe to you it's like, oh, it's probably something small, whatever. But to me, it's something big. It's something where now I understand where your stance is with the whole changing of the names and stuff like that, how important it plays in the big role, whether it's the misspelling of a word or a letter. It's up to the person that's bringing this content to the masses, where like you have to almost put that out there, and that is your job and your duty to make sure that, hey, you know what, this is how you spell it correctly, this is how you find me, and like there's no need to search it differently or word it differently, because this is just the name on all cross platforms. And the way that you actually ended up doing that, pulling up all the tabs, is it's a great tactic, and people like literally you're going the extra mile when it comes to this kind of stuff, and it's so rewarding to see how much you've progressed since I've got to know you since 2020 and us COVID babies, like it's just like we have blossomed into something really great. Like I'm on the road to 800 followers, you're on the road to 3,000 followers. But again, it's not even about that. It's just creating the community and the giving people a home, honestly, too, because it's been kind of hard at making friends. I honestly don't have like physical people that I can go to, like to venture out to places like that. But when it comes to here, I have a place to watch movies, I have a place to watch wrestling, I have a place to to belong, and it warms the heart very much so. And I'm really hoping that that's how it is to you at this time of recording. Where like,
oh my gosh, yes. I think I said earlier in here that like this, the majority of people that I talk to on a regular basis are because of this space. Mm-hmm. There are other creators in this space. And so my real friendships in real life now are my online friendships for the most part. I have IRL friends too, but I don't get to see them a lot. I don't have time. And so it's great to have a space where I'm like vibing with people that finally like get me a lot better. Mm-hmm. It's again not like I love my friends, but we're very different, and I finally feel like I'm in a place with people who we're kind of going after the same thing, and we understand each other on a level that I haven't had a lot of people in my life understand me.
Very much.
I had that before in grad school a little bit, but I was going after something very different then. I was like kind of money chasing and stuff, and so I'm glad to be in something that like actually brings you internal joy and not like just all of that mess. We know how that goes. That does not bring you happiness.
No. You put up a facade, and it's just like it's not. People will call you out on it, and it's just not. It's not fair to yourself. It's not fair to the people that are tuning in, supporting stuff like that. When you put that all in retrospect, like it has to be very genuine, because if not, then they'll call you out on it for sure.
Yeah, and also on the money thing, because I know you asked about revenue earlier, and I kind of went on a merch tangent, but
it's okay. Honestly,
like with streaming, I don't recommend anyone get into streaming with the idea to make money. No, because I know you were saying like, oh, you're big time streamer now, and I'm like, no, I'm still a small streamer. And again, it's perspective.
Sure.
But what it all boils down to is like, not a lot of people on this platform are going to be able to make a living on it. Very, very, very few. Like, yes, I'm in the top like 0.5% of the platform, somewhere around there at any given time. Okay, 0.5%. I still am a small streamer, because when you look at that top 1%, it's like, I think 1% might be like 15 average-ish,
something
around
like
that range. So we're looking at going from 0 to 15 for all of the percentage before that, 100% to 1% for 15 viewers. So if we're looking at just the top 1%, right?
Right.
Still very small, right? And so the people who are actually making money, it's not very many people. So don't go into it thinking you're going to make a living. I'm not quitting because I'm making a living streaming. I'm not quitting because I'm planning to make a living streaming. I'm quitting because I plan to make a living creating.
Right.
And I've saved for it. I played my cards for it. You have to play your cards for what works for you. I can't say that enough. When I say play your cards, I mean like in a poker game, you're playing your hand, your cards, the cards you're given. You can only play those cards to the best of your ability. That's how life works. You can only do what you can with yours. Don't look at them. Don't look at them. You can't control them. You don't know their life. Even if they tell you some stuff, you still don't know their life. You can't know everything about somebody. It's impossible. Yeah. So you don't know what their mental space is, you don't know their whole background. You don't know their financial situation. They could sit down and try to explain that to you all day, and you're not going to understand. So for me, I played my cards. I've saved money. I'm going to live off savings, and I'm going to live off what I get from streaming as long as I can to create other revenue streams. So it's going to be streaming, YouTube, writing, potentially fitness, and anything else that I can figure out, like maybe data management stuff on the side. I have degrees that I can use. I got, my master's in business. So I got my MBA, and it was in finance and entrepreneurship. So I've used finance. Let's go into entrepreneurship now and see what happens. You know?
And now you're going to be a music producer and everything now too, to add that to your repertoire.
A lot of hobbies. I actually had an ex who said I was the almost girl because I kept doing almost doing a ton of stuff. I took so offense to it. Do a lot of things, but it's just like I do a lot of things, and I'm now able to use that to entertain people. So
yeah. It is very, very heartwarming to see where you're at this point, and like you look up. Yeah, for sure. MADkurious is spelled, with a K, but like if you look up the definition of curious or curiosity, that is you. Literally, essentially, that is you with the variety streaming, your hobbies, the way your networking is, the skills of management of being able to go above and beyond, and to see yourself what you're worth and knowing your worth is really, really phenomenal. And so, MADkurious, I want to give you this moment in time to reassure people again who you are, where your streaming platform is, any upcoming projects. By the time of this recording, you're already going to be putting your 2 weeks into your job, and congratulations again onto your future success. And to finally quit, because this job right here is like just bringing you down and like ripping your hair out and stuff like that, but no more. So Curious, the floor is yours.
Well, I'm MADkurious. Right now I create very curious content, curious gaming content, curious chatting content. We do a lot of chatting at the beginning of streams. We usually have one heavy gaming day a week. And then I've been starting to incorporate fitness one day a week. So it's going to continue to evolve over time. But I like to do the cozy gaming where I still chat with people a lot, a heavy gaming for the people who really enjoy gaming and to create cool YouTube content from as well. I'm going to have a lot of cool YouTube stuff coming out this year. After I quit, I'll have a little bit more time for it. And I'm playing specific games for that are not so geared towards stream. So like nice story, mystery, point and click type stuff that aren't as engaging, but for like interaction, but very engaging to watch. And so I'm excited to do that kind of stuff, create stuff about games, maybe combine my writing and my business elements into analyzing games. So there's a lot of curiosity that I can do out there, and a little bit of mad as well. Like if I do a little bit of rage gaming here and there,
especially on Fortnite
or on, Soulsborne, I'm probably going to rage a lot. So it's a variety of content, but it's always the same, a similar group of people, a similar feel to it. And it's so cool to create for everyone and make people smile. At the end of the day, that's the goal, is to make people smile and laugh. And so if I'm rage gaming, it's literally making people laugh. You know what I mean? So I want somebody to come in, laugh, and then go about their day. You know what I mean? Or stay with us and hang out and laugh all day. Either way.
And that's what you'll get over at MADkurious' channel. She streams over on Twitch. You can find her on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Hover, TikTok. And they believe there's another thing too as well, correct? Besides that?
Yeah, TikTok's gonna be fun. So if you follow me on TikTok right now, I only have one video. I have my old account, but for my old name, but I started a new account, and it's going to be, I'm really excited. Let's just say it's going to be something related to me quitting and starting a new journey. And I'm going to try something a little bit unique on there and see what happens, and we'll see if it hits. So.
Well, I'm honestly here. I'm here for it, honestly. And I do not know where to begin, where we had to do this second recording and to almost nail it to the T, because I feel like this one right here was really genuine. This one right here was, you were so certain of what to answer. And of course, you may have had somewhat like maybe baggage of like, things that are still going behind the scenes and stuff like that. But I think now in this moment in time is more of cleansing, that now you're more satisfied with what you're going through and what your plans are. So I really thank you so much for reaching out and to, making this where you wanted to make this happen again. The fact that you trust me with, being able to do this again, and like not to like shy away, be like, hey, we have this, I don't have time for you, this, like there's always time for everything. And so we were able to squeeze in the time of things that are going on in my life. It's just really tough, and we've explained off screen, but now at this moment in time, being able to make this happen, and it's just a breeze. And like, you are wonderful at this, and I'm so glad to your future success of being able to go on to different people's podcasting, or like you do your own hosting stuff on your streams or whatnot, to use this as in your arsenal of like all the stuff of your accolades and stuff, and then some. It's just really great to see the future. The streaming that you've done, your career in general, is just the beginning for you, MADkurious. So I thank you so much for making this happen and for trusting me with your honest answers, your community, the laughs and joys, and the despairs of like not knowing what the unknown is. But at the end of the day, though, you're here to reassure that everything's going to be okay.
Absolutely. And I'm thanks for having me back again so soon. I will be excited to come back again, not as soon. This was perfect. But you know what I mean? I'm really glad that when I reached out, you were of the same mindset that like, so it wasn't quite there. It would have been fine. Had we put that out, people would enjoy it. It would be good. But it was a really good interview, but it's just I've honed in now and I'm pretty locked in for what's about to happen. And, so this was definitely one that I think hopefully people will really, really enjoy and maybe get something out of if they're starting a creator journey at all. Or maybe it'll say, oh, maybe this is something in my life, you know, if they're thinking about what could potentially bring them joy in their life. And they're like, oh, okay. Like I would love for it to inspire people to just go on their journey and think about what they want and not just see something and think that they want it, but don't. Because look, if you look at me and you're like, oh, she has success. Like if you see me as someone who has success, I live and breathe and bleed this. Okay. This is my life. This is a lifestyle choice.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Become your lifestyle, whatever it is. And creation is a heavy and difficult lifestyle.
Right.
It is for everyone. So just know that if you see it and you think you want it, make sure you know what you're getting into with whatever it is. Just know the good and the bad, the pros and the cons with anything that you're getting into, because everybody looks at this like grass is greener thing for anything that they want, and they forget that there's always negatives. There's opportunity costs for everything. So
yeah, it takes a lot to be the difference between being a gamer on Twitch and being a streamer on Twitch. There's a big difference. And so once you actually get that mindset of like, you know what, this is what I want to pursue. I want to, you know, continue on with what I'm setting out to do of being an entertainer, being somewhat of a supportive with you know, certain topics and whatnot, and not shying away people, because honestly, people think this is a home. They belong somewhere, and you've done a wonderful job there, MADkurious, on creating this wonderful community. And the fact that, again, you're on the road to 3,000 followers. I wish you nothing but the best to your future music career and your future Fortnite grinds.
But I do want to incorporate it.
You will. Anywho, that's going to do it for us here on the Monday Nyquil Podcast Show. I've been your host, SlowpokeFelitos. I am a part-time streamer, part-time alcoholic, a seasonal Catholic, an official Lego builder license holder, and the host of the Monday Nyquil Podcast Show. This has been Season 3. MADkurious, thank you so much, and we hope to see you again real soon.
Absolutely.
Adios, everybody.